Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavati Tamastuma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. So we now come to the Akyayika, the story of Yajnavalkya and his wife. According to Bhashyakara, Sri Shankaracharya Ji, as we have already seen, that this story is being introduced to enjoin renunciation as a means or as an anga of Brahma Vidya. This we have already seen. Because, see, one thing I wanted to tell you is that when you are in a setup, say, Grihastha then you are performing duties also. At the same time, you are enjoying many privileges also. So both the duties as well as privileges are enjoined. And when you partake of something, then automatically there is a feeling inside that I must also give, I must also contribute, I must also give. I cannot just sit and enjoy. So that also, that sense of duty also arises invariably when you are in a certain setup. Plus, a very, very important point is that as a person performing duties and roles, there is kartrutva also. Kartrutva means sense of doership. I am doing. That is fine. But now, you want to know the self, and the nature of the self is that it is totally free from action, bereft of all the actions. Atma is akarta, abhokta. And here you are, performing many duties. So you want to abide in the knowledge that you are akarta. And here you are expected to do the duties. So kartrutva and akartrutva. On one hand, here you look upon yourself as a karta, and you want to know Atma, which is akarta. This two also doesn't go together. They also are not compatible. And that is why also this was an important point. So I wanted to mention this also. That is why also sannyasa or renunciation is most compatible. Is most compatible to the goal, to knowing the self which is beyond and free from all these kinds of notions. So, Yajnavalkya Ji is all ready. It's a blessed moment for him, and he has already made up his mind. He invited his wives and declared before them that now I wish to rise above this stage of grihastha, householder life, and want to rise in a sannyasa. And therefore, I now wish to divide the wealth that I have between both of you so that you can take care of yourselves and need not worry about future, which is very good. As a responsible person, he is doing this and seeing to it that in future also there should be no conflicts between these two. Maitreyi Katyayani is happy to have her share and nothing is told about her. But then Maitreyi, as we said, is a different person. She is already dispassionate. She is already, her heart is craving for truth, for knowing what it is. And so, her response is little different. Let us now look at mantra 2. Passage number 2, we will do that. So we'll read first one also, just to connect with that. Maitreyi hovacha. Page number 22, passage 1. Maitreyi hovacha. Yajnavalkyah. Udyasyan va are ahamasmat sthanat. Udyasyan va are ahamasmat sthanat. Asmi hantate anaya katyayanya antam karvani iti. So this we have already explained. Now passage number 2. When Maitreyi heard this, so one who was told like this, that Maitreyi now replies, Sa hovacha Maitreyi yannumaya iyam bhagoho sarva prithvi vittena purna syat katham tena amrutasyamiti neti hovacha yajnavalkyah yathaiva upakarnavatam jivitam tathaiva te jivitam syat amrutatvasya tu nashasti vittena iti. See, thereupon Maitreyi, who was told this, that Maitreyi, sa hovacha, she replied. Now her reply, listen to it carefully. See how she responds. She says, Yannu me iyam bhagoho. First of all, she addresses Yajnavalkya as bhagoho, means Bhagavan. He addresses him that you are my God, out of respect and love. She says, O Bhagavan, if indeed, she says, Sarva Prithvi Vittena Purna Syat, that if this entire earth surrounded by ocean and is filled up with wealth, if this kind of earth, Vittena Purna, which is filled with wealth, if such earth is offered to me, can it fulfill me? Can it give me immortality? Can such an earth full of wealth, can it give katham tena amrutasyam? Will it make me immortal? Now here, see, she says yannu. Yat means yadi. Nu means it is in the sense of deliberation. She deliberates that what? See, there is this katham. Katham is in the sense of both questioning as well as question. You know, there is difference between two. You question someone, and sometimes you are against, or sort of you ask, how can it be true? See, she is asking, can I be immortal with this kind of wealth? Can I be immortal if I am given the whole earth full of wealth? Can be a simple question. Or how can I be immortal with the earth even filled with wealth is given to me? You see the difference? Can I be is a simple question. She is asking. That is question, prashna. And other one is questioning. How can I be immortal? As if she knows that this wealth outside, the material wealth, can never fulfill me, can never impart immortality to me. So it can be both ways. We do not know in which sense she asked. Maybe she is asking Yajnavalkya that can it fulfill, can it give me immortality? Or how can it give me? Which means what? You are giving this to me and you seem to possess a better wealth. You seem to be possessing a different wealth and you don't care much about this material wealth, and therefore you are giving it up and giving us this wealth. So already she knows this. She has an idea that there is no fulfillment, there is no adequacy in anything that pertains to the world. The entire creation is ephemeral, is limited, bound by time, and so it cannot be giving immortality. But here it is a question, or she questions him. So, can it make me immortal? Yajnavalkya understood her question. So this is what Maitreyi is. She is constantly looking for this only. Her entire mindset seems to be preoccupied only with this desire for immortality. And that is why when Yajnavalkya said that this is the wealth, before accepting or even looking at it, she has this question. She knows her husband, that he is giving up. You seem to possess a better wealth. Otherwise, who will give up? Who will give up something and go? If this was enough, if this was the source of joy, then why will you give up? Since you are giving up and you want to go, call an end once and for all, sannyasa means what? Severing the relationship, not out of bitterness, but that kind of relationship has now come to an end. Now I am devoted entirely to new pursuit. What is formal sannyasa? It is nothing but that. You give up, you walk away. So that now the particular relationship which you had with certain set of people is now no more there. Now everybody is same to you, ideally speaking. So that means that you are in quest. You are in quest, or you are going for something better. So please tell me, wait a minute, please tell me that will what you are leaving behind, will it give me immortality or not? That is what she is asking. Yajnavalkya also gives a very categorical reply. Doesn't hold back anything. What does he say? See, have we read the whole passage, no? He says, na iti hovacha. He said, no. No in both the ways. See, prashnaschet prativachanartham naivasya amruta. What? Supposing this is your simple question, that can I be immortal with this wealth? Then also, what does Yajnavalkya have to say? That no, wealth cannot give you immortality. And if you are questioning me, then also then also my reply remains the same, that no. Immortality can never be gained from this material wealth. When it is said that vittena, we should understand everything. We should understand everything that is looked upon as important in this creation, which is the source of our desire, which is the source of our security. And here by vitta, we should understand both Daiva vitta and Manusha vitta. Because see, in those days, vitta was an important thing. It was an important, one needed that to perform all the Vedic rituals which will take you to heavens. And all of those things were valued in those days, going to Svarga, Brahmaloka, etc. And for all that, you needed to perform certain karma, certain homas, agnihotra, etc. So vitta can include both Daiva vitta as well as Manusha vitta. Yajnavalkya says no. Immortality is not the result of this kind of wealth. Then what is the use of that? What does it give? In that also he is very clear. See, what did he say? Yathaiva upakarnavatam jivitam tathaiva te jivitam syat. He says, just as with wealth, because of the wealth, people have lots of facilities, lots of, all gadgets and comforts. This kind of facilities which the wealth can buy, which the wealth can command, it can help you to live comfortably. Wealth definitely brings comfort, and that is to certain extent needed also in life. We need education, and for that wealth is required for food, shelter, clothing, helping others, and to live a little relatively comfortable life. Wealth is definitely required, but that is all wealth can give. Nothing more than that. Yathaiva upakarnavatam jivitam tathaiva te jivitam. You will be able to live a comfortable life just as people with all the facilities live. Here in America, this land is full of comforts. If hot, then AC. If cold, then heater, and whatnot. You ask, and things are there. Everything is made so easy. Life is very comfortable here. But if I remember Swamiji's words, when it's a it gives a very important message how they watch life. When he first returned from USA, first visit, then everybody is asking him, what is the difference between East and West? So Swamiji said, nothing much. More or less the same thing. In which way? Then he said, here in India, people have, in those days particularly, nowadays things are far better off now in India too. But in those days, people have so many problems, no comforts, in small flat, one room apartment, people live together, so many problems are there, no facilities. They live from hand to mouth, these kinds of problems are there. So uncomfortably miserable. In East, people are uncomfortably miserable. And in West, what? Full of comforts. No dearth of comforts over here. 15 mansions. And people have their own jets, farmhouses, this and that, what not. But comfortably, but miserable all the same. Comfort is here. There, miserable with discomforts. Here, miserable with comforts. Because, primarily and precisely because, nothing outside is capable of giving anything to the self. Nothing of the outside world can give that adequacy to the self. The problem of the self is different. Objects have their own place. Objects have their own use. And they do cater to our needs of the body, needs of comforts, etc. They definitely give that. But the need today of the self is what? Adequacy, fullness, pleased self. Everybody is seeking that pleased self. That is not the quality, that is not something to be found in this inert things. Comfort, yes, it does give me some comfort, but here it cannot touch. So, with all this wealth, you will be able to live comfortably. But definitely, Amritattva, you will not get immortality. Immortality is something not to be gotten from the world outside. Yajnavalkya replied her in this manner. Then, and the problem with the wealth and comforts is such, that in the beginning, the object comes as luxury item. It comes as luxury. You are fascinated by it. Every new thing that comes in the market, we want it. It looks very fascinating. But then gradually you get used to it. Day by day you get used to it. And it becomes what? It becomes a necessity. Luxury comes as a guest and lives there to become the host. This is also the nature. Because you see, if you see in our life, in the beginning there were certain things, then we used to enjoy them. They were very wondrous things, like refrigerator, radio, then once upon a time, even cassette player, all these things. Now they have become obsolete. No more are they useful. Day by day, certain things which are very new at one time, gradually we don't know where to throw them. So these things have their fascination for some time. And then we lose interest in them. After a certain point, we become dependent upon them, and at the same time, it no more fascinates us. So this is the nature of the things. Yajnavalkya told her. Now listening to this, Maitreyi now replies. She, see what she says. We'll read the third mantra, third passage. Sahovacha Maitreyi yenaham namrutasyam kimaham tena kuryam yadeva bhagavan veda tadeva me bruhiti. See, Sahovacha Maitreyi. Now this Sahovacha Maitreyi means the one Maitreyi, one who was told like this by Yajnavalkya. One who was told that wealth cannot give immortality, but just as person with all the gadgets live in a comfortable manner, so you will be able to live. One who was told this, that Maitreyi, see, every time this Maitreyi is different. Yajnavalkya comes across this different Maitreyi. Amazing woman, Sahovacha Maitreyi. See, these are the women of India. This is there. India, not India, it may be everywhere. Sahovacha Maitreyi, she replies. She says, she has no second thoughts in saying this. Yena aham na amrutasyam, that by which I cannot become immortal. Wealth by which, that which you are offering me. If that is not the means to immortality, then kimaham tena kuryam. What will I do with that? It will become a big burden. What will I do with that wealth? She has just one single pointed mind, single pointed focus, nothing but immortality, nothing but fulfillment. And what here and now, I just want it. And nothing else, nothing can swerve her from that. Nothing can distract. Imagine the vairagya. Imagine the dispassion that she has. That means this kind of vairagya cannot come without viveka. Viveka means constantly you have to weigh and examine a thing. What is it giving? At what cost? What is the price that I am paying? And at the end of the day, what am I getting? How long am I interested in that? When you keep on thinking in this manner, then this kind of vairagya can come. She is having that mind, intense vairagya. Just as we find Mirabai, a great devotee of Lord Krishna, you must be knowing. She always had just one thing. With all the problems that she had in life, and her husband and other members of her family, everybody left no stone unturned to deviate her from her path of devotion. But for her, what was there? Mere to Giridhar Gopal, dusaro na koi. There is just one. She was a devotee, so that is how she speaks. But my devotion is nothing but for Lord Krishna. Whatever may happen doesn't matter to me now. This is the thing. Here, she wants just immortality. Even if it's not easy to just give away this kind of wealth. Blank check he has given. It can be said, no? It is blank. What is meant by the whole world filled with wealth? Yajnavalkya was a very well-to-do person. He was a big householder. So he must be having lot of wealth. To give up that attraction for wealth and the comfort that it brings is not an easy thing. Is not an easy thing. And she saw right before her eyes that Yajnavalkya is just leaving them behind, leaving it all behind, and becoming is imposing poverty upon himself. Sannyasa means what? Walking away means what? You impose, self-impose poverty. Nothing but that. You are now under the sky, dependent upon Ishvara to give you even food for 2 times. But still, that doesn't matter. Why? Because you want some other wealth. The other wealth, either you already have it, or you are desiring that other wealth. And so, it doesn't matter to leave aside this wealth. So, Maitreyi is seeing all this, and she herself also is in the same line. So she says, if it is not going to give, then what will I do with this? I am not interested. Very, very practical person. Huh? She is very practical. I don't want any unnecessary burden and things in my life. Very practical. What will I do with it? Just as Nachiketa, you remember in Kathopanishad, he is also a student. Student means he has gone to Yamaraja, his father has sent him there. And he asks of Yamaraja, what happens after death? Give me the answer for that. Means the truth about the self. Yamaraja was astonished to hear this from a small child of 8 years. And Yamaraja also says, He says, I offer you everything. I offer you all the wealth and long life and everything. And what was his reply? Similar. He says, what will I do with it? You keep this for yourself. Tavaiva vahas tavanrut. This dance and all the damsels and all the wealth, you keep it. I don't want. Don't show it to me. You better keep it. Why? Because all that you are offering is ephemeral. Not going to be there tomorrow. Shvobhava martyasya yadantakai tata. O Yamaraja, O Lord of Death, what you are offering is shvobhavaha, which means it is ephemeral. It won't be there tomorrow. And then I'll be back to square one. Plus, jarayanti tejaha. It will take away all my sap, all my energy, all my time. In this life, small life, and that too, we do not know how much of time we have. In that, we do not know what is going to happen the next moment, and still we plan. In that much, in this life, how can I afford to lose the wealth which I have? Jarayanti tejah. All this will win away all the energy of my sense organs, of my mind. Bhogana bhukta vayameva bhuktaha. Another very important philosopher, great philosopher called Bhartrhari. He writes, we have not enjoyed these objects, they have enjoyed us. We think that we are enjoying, but in the process they are enjoying us. Because at the end of it, we are less. We are less. So, she also says the same thing. What will I do with all this? You give me Yadeva Bhagavan Veda. What you know. She says that what you know, that you tell me. She seems to know that, of course, he is her husband. He has been her husband. So she knows that her partner is not an ordinary one. And says, what you know, that you tell me. You seem to know something great. And that is what I want. We have been all this is implied. Yadeva Bhagavan Veda Tadeva me bruhi. What you know, that you please tell me. And as a wife, it is my right. We have been partners. She has been with him all along. And in the real sense, she is courting him mentally. Because of, when you are with a great person, then their thinking, their values are bound to touch you. She herself was great. She herself was not ordinary. But when you are in company, when you are in company with such people, then it is bound to touch you. When you are open to learning, when you are watching and learning, then you imbibe all that. And she has done exactly that. And that is why she wants that from him. So please give me that. Share that with me. Please share it with me. Tadeva me bruhi. What you know, that only you give me. All this is not going to touch me. This is not what I want. See, outright declined it. Just as you must be knowing the story of Ramayana, that after having won the battle, Sitaji and Rama are back in Ayodhya. Then one day, having conquered Ravana, they are back. And then one day, the both of them were taking a walk. Hanumanji is there with them. And he is always behind. He will to serve in the Rama. He will always be with them behind, walking behind. Sitaji suddenly remembered the old days when she was in Ashok Vatika, held captive by Ravana. And she was all the time crying and remembering Rama. And how suddenly there was a ray of hope in when she saw Hanumanji. And he dropped that ring when she was crying. She remembered and was very happy with Hanumanji. And she, out of her happiness, she removed the pearl necklace which she had in her neck and offered it to Hanumanji. Take it, I'm so happy with you. Hanumanji took it. And then Sitaji and Rama are going ahead. He was there behind. Then suddenly she heard a cracking noise. And she looked back, what is happening? And when she looked back, she saw, oh my God, what is Hanumanji doing? He's breaking the pearls with his mouth, opening them, and then throwing it away. Opens each pearl and looks at it, and then throws away. Sitaji says, Hanuman, what are you doing? He says, I'm looking for my Rama. I'm looking for my Rama in this pearls. He's not there. So they are of no use to me. Their imagined pearls are useless for him. Similarly, Maitreyi seems to say the echoes the same thing. She says, what will I do with all this? I don't want it. If immortality is not there, I don't care. I don't want it. So, what you know is your real wealth. What you know, Bhagoho, oh my Lord, what you seem to know, that is the real wealth. And so, please give that to me. I don't want to miss this chance. So he was very happy when he heard this. So see, he says, see, we'll see, read that. Sahovacha Yajnavalkyaha Priya Batare Nah Sati Priyam Bhashase Ehyasva Vyakyasyamite Vyachakshanasya Tu Me Nidityasveti. See, Sahovacha Yajnavalkyaha. Having heard this, now Yajnavalkya is very happy because she has made the right choice. See, the success of our life depends upon the right choices that we make. See, at every juncture, at every step, life expects that we make the right choices. There are always, every moment, in fact, there are two things before us. Shreyaha, Preyaha. One is ultimately good and one appears to be good. One looks very good, very glamorous, very enticing, very attractive. And the other one may not be that attractive. In fact, it may be difficult. It may be, like climbing the mountain. It may be difficult, but it is best. It is the ultimate good. Shreyaha is like that. And Preyaha looks very glamorous. We have to make the choice. They come before us every moment. We are, as human beings, this is our privilege. See, other beings do not have this choice. Their choices are made by Ishvara. Nature makes choices for them. They are programmed. They do not have a choice that should I eat this or that. In short, that free will, that intellect they don't have. We have this free will, which but imposes, which puts a very big responsibility upon us. To have intellect is a big responsibility. Now we have to make a choice, decide wisely, select wisely. You can't choose things haphazardly without thinking. Everything in life demands deliberation, demands that you make a right choice. Simple thing like, you have a junk food before you and you have healthy food before you. Now these are the days of healthy food, no? And there is junk food before you. Burger and pizza with lots and lots of mozzarella cheese and this cheese and that. So many, but we like it, We like it. And other thing that they offer is salad and some other thing. Now choose. And doctor has said, you have diabetes, you have high BP, you have many other problems, and these are the two things before you. Either I can go for the taste, or the taste of the tongue, or I can go for the health. I have to make a choice. This is a simple example, by the way. This is just a simple example. Shreyascha preyascha manushya metah. They come before you. And we have to select. Tayoho shreyaha adadanasya sadhuhu bhavati. Kathopanishad says, those who select shreyaha, first of all, to be able to discern that this is good for me, requires a very sharp, very discerning intellect. Tayoho shreyaha adadanasya sadhuhu bhavati. He becomes sadhu. Means he is on a right path. And one who doesn't choose that and chooses preyaha, hiyate arthat. He deviates from the goal. He falls. Like simple things like, if you say a simple lie, then you will have profit of, say, some $10,000. Some dollars you can gain by saying a few words which are not correct, which are not true. And if you say if you speak the truth, you will have to forgo that. Then what to speak? If I speak the truth, I will have to forgo that $10,000. And if I choose that, then I am giving up the truth. What should I choose? Depends on what is important to me. What is the goal of my life? So, if I know the value of the value, and if the value of the value is valuable to me, then I will have no problem in choosing the truth. Otherwise, doesn't matter. I don't want to become Harishchandra. What has Harishchandra gained? Rather than that, let me make profit by speaking this little lie. Who is going to see? I am not answerable to anyone. But hiyate arthat, you are choosing such a thing that will take you down the ladder. That's quite possible. So, life always puts before us these choices. You choose. And if we make the right choice, then life will be successful. Successful not in terms of material wealth, maybe. Maybe not in terms of achievements and materially you will be successful, but definitely you will be successful as far as the truth is concerned, as far as knowing the self is concerned, successful as far as your destination is concerned. So, Yajnavalkya ji is very happy that Maitreyi has made the right choice. She is not interested in the wealth. So he said, Sahovacha Yajnavalkya Evam Vitta Sadhye Amrutatva Sadhane Pratyakhyate. When he saw that Maitreyi has given up, has discarded wealth as the means for immortality, then Yajnavalkya Swapi Praya Sampatto Tushtaha Aha. He was very happy that yes, she thinks like me. Her thinking is in line with me. And so he became very happy that our companionship has been worthwhile. She has learned from me. All along she was with me, and this companionship has not gone in vain. She has really learned something from me, and that is why he was very happy. And see, understand, he is now going to take sannyasa, but still how he talks to her. See, watch that. Soho vacha Priya Batare Nahasati. He says, Priya, calls her dear. He says, you were always dear to me. Very affectionately he says, you were always very dear to me. But today you are more dear. You were always lovable to me. But today you are more dear to me. Why? Because he very lovingly addresses her and says, Are Maitreyi, Naha asmakam purvam api priya sati bhavanti. I always loved you. Bas idanim priyameva chittanukulam bhashase. Today I am extremely pleased with you. Why? Because you are exhibiting this great trait. You are exhibiting this high value. Look at your thoughts. Look at your vairagya. And he is pleased with it. So, see, even though he is going to go away, is on the verge of calling an end to that relationship, but still his love remains the same, different kind. Now it is expressed in a different way. But still his respect, his affection remains the same. On the contrary, it has increased. See, when a person exhibits good and noble thoughts, has high values, high desire, is wanting to know something great in life, then you automatically respect them. You may not be capable of that. But when you see this in others, your heart and your head will bow down. You will automatically respect them. This also shows that truth is always respected. Nobility, vairagya, all these qualities, spiritual qualities, are always respected, highly respected. And that is what Yajnavalkya also does. See, subtle are the ways of love. He is going away and still he is expressing his love for her. He says, now I really respect you. I always knew. He knew that she is capable of this. But today, she doesn't stop him. See, doesn't say, why are you going away? Why should you go away? What will I do without you? No such thing. She is not imposing any such bondage, nothing. On the contrary, you may go, but tell me what you know. Tell me what you know. The desire, the jignasa to know is there. And she knows that her husband possesses that. So let me be his partner in the right sense of the word. He is my Lord, and I must have what he has. If he possesses this knowledge, then better you please impart it to me, and then you can go. Why should I go to someone else? You please impart it to me. Just as Arjuna said, that whatever is definitely good, you please tell me. I am your Shishya. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. I have surrendered unto you. So far he never surrendered. So far, in fact, he must be putting his hand on Lord Krishna's shoulder, showing that we are good. All that was there. Friendship was there. But Guru was not there. To be a friend is one thing. But to see a Guru, to see a teacher in your friend is different. And that is what Arjuna saw. And then to approach a teacher is to be approached in a different way. So he says, I now surrender. Shishyaste tvam prapannam. I have surrendered unto you. Now you have to decide. You have to, my well-being is in your hands. So this teaching is there for asking. This teaching is there for asking, but provided you approach it in the right way. As far as they were friends, and Arjuna never asked for it. He could have, no? He could have very well asked. But it never occurred to Arjuna to ask this of Lord Krishna. Why? Why did it not occur to Arjuna? Because that need was not there. He was not bothered by those questions. So he never asked. Similarly, today, when Yajnavalkya is going away, that time, Maitreyi is getting this opportunity. And she's that what you know, that you please give me. Yajnavalkya is so happy by her desire and the way she expressed it. So he said, yes, please sit here. It is said, Ehi Asva, please come and sit before me. Now, and listen carefully to what I am going to tell you. Listen carefully. He says, see, Tume nididhyasva iti, may you deliberate upon what I am going to tell you. It will require deliberation. Nididhyasasva means, doesn't mean chitta vritti nirodha. Doesn't mean that you just quieten your mind. No. You have to think repeatedly you should think repeatedly again and again on what I am going to tell you, until it becomes clear to you. So, come and sit before me, and I will impart this knowledge to you. Yajnavalkya did not say that let me finish with this. Then, he also right then and then agreed to her demand. And then he says, please sit before me. In the right way, the kind of relationship that should be between a teacher and a student. Now the relationship has changed. Understand? They are no more husband and wife. As long as that is there, relationships have to be very clear. Now the relationship is one of Guru and Shishya. As long as she was wife, some other things were included. Till then, she also could not ask this of him. But today it is very clear. You know, you are in command of that, and there is the right bent of mind over here. All the humility is there, and I am all ready to learn. Plus, Yajnavalkya, just because she asked, he would not have given. But he gives because he saw that Maitreyi is full of dispassion. And this dispassion is not something temporary. It has not arisen recently. It is standing on solid foundation. It is the dispassion which shows healthy understanding of things as they are. Dispassion doesn't mean, as I said, aversion. Dispassion doesn't mean aversion for things, hatred for things, but it means that you see the world, see the objects in the right color as they are. This can give me this much and nothing more. They can definitely give me comfort, but not what? Adequacy. And adequacy is what I am seeking. Fullness is what I am seeking. And that is centered upon the self. That is centered upon Atma. And this is Anatma. They are two different things. This is Jadam. This is consciousness. Jadam, non-self, cannot ever impart anything to consciousness. And understand that the entire world, even this body, everything falls in the category of Jadam. It is now here, not then. It is not, it is just temporary. And whatever it has is merely a show. Whatever it has, it's nothing but an appearance. There is no substantiality about it. There is no substantiality. Substantiality means it doesn't have. It doesn't have what it promises, what it makes the show of. You know that banana tree looks very solid, looks so solid, but inside it is all hollow. All hollow. Similarly, samsara, this creation, looks very solid, looks very concrete, looks very glamorous, looks very attractive, looks very promising. And every moment we are attracted. Every time we are attracted, what happens, you know? We are denying ourselves. Every time I want something, want means not the basic necessities of body, etc. Not that. Every time I look at the world to fulfill me, to give me that sense of satisfaction, at that time I deny myself. See, in that sense, life is nothing but self-denial. The way I conduct my life is what? It is nothing but self-denial if I don't know all this. Instead of accepting myself, life should be, the correct way to live should be falling upon oneself, journey towards oneself, not away from oneself. On the contrary, if we don't know all this, where do we go? We go away from ourselves, seeking the world, all the while begging from the world that please give us something. Self-denial, nothing but a process of self-denial, self-non-acceptance. See, the journey is entirely wrong. The map is entirely wrong. How am I ever going to reach my destination? When the map itself is wrong, GPS is wrong, supposing. She guides us, if she misguides, she doesn't do that in the GPS. But supposing she does that, then when will we reach? Never. We will never reach. So, it is so important, so very important to understand life, to look at the creation, to look at my needs. I should know that the world has an answer to my need for food, shelter, clothing, comforts, yes, but not the answer to my core being. It has no answer to that. If we continue with that, then what will happen? It will, or every time it will fail me. Understand that? So, Yajnavalkya was very happy when he heard this from Maitreyi. And he says, you were always dear to me, but today you are more dear. Please come and sit before me and listen to what I say very carefully. And then we'll begin the 5th passage, which we will take up tomorrow. Okay? Thank you. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.